All over the country, millions of people are struggling to find the cash they need to make ends meet or to realise their dreams.
40, 60, 80.
Withdraw £500.
50, 65.
Thank you, Lisa.
OK.
Many struggle to qualify for high street borrowing, making them vulnerable to illegal loan sharks.
That first £100 loan leads to another, leads to another.
But there are a growing number of community banks or credit unions that are offering a helping hand, whilst at the same time supporting the local area.
We are looking to offer you a loan. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80.
We've had our ups and downs like any other family would in a family business.
They gave me the option of what I could afford. I could actually live again and actually save again.
From household emergencies to kick-starting a new life or business.
Organic veg boxes.
I'm a bit nervous, but I'm still excited. It's like I'm getting married. It's crazy.
We're following some of these life-changing stories.
It basically meant that something that I never thought I'd ever do in my life was actually going to happen.
Without that help, the transformation to my life would have been impossible.
So it's a win-win situation, really.
Today, a woman seeks a loan for a language learning holiday.
If I didn't get the loan, I will be a bit disappointed, but I kind of have got hope.
A bus driver with an addiction to credit.
I kept on buying. Buying.
And a food fan turns up the heat to start his own business.
Not knowing if I'm going to make £10 or £400.
Thanking you very much.
It's all a massive risk.
Hello, can I help you? I'm applying to get a top-up on my loan.
And you're a member of the credit union, yes?
What's the do again?
Thanks for waiting as well, appreciate that. Thanks, James.
In the UK, consumer debt is rising fast. As a nation, we currently owe almost £200 billion on credit cards, personal loans and car finance.
We used it and probably abused it because in time we couldn't afford to pay back what we owed.
But those with poor credit histories and low incomes often struggle to borrow from traditional high street lenders. They can be forced to turn to payday loans or loan sharks with high interest rates.
There's no credit checks, there's no nothing, and then they actually come to your door and collect the money from you every week.
Even borrowing small amounts, debts can soon spiral out of control.
What we didn't understand at the time is if you don't pay, then more interest goes on. And it just kept on amounting up and amounting up and amounting up.
But there is an alternative to this high-risk borrowing. Credit unions are an increasingly popular way to borrow and save.
I applied for £4,000 and they told me I'll hear from them in 48 hours or something like that. Okay. It was a quick decision. Okay. Right. It was a yes. And my life started to turn around from then.
Yes. So bye-bye and thanks again. Bye-bye.
Credit unions aim to help people that traditional lenders can't.
How are you keeping?
Oh, I'm keeping all right, yeah.
Good.
And sometimes charge lower fees and interest too.
Credit unions have social objectives which are of equal or greater priorities than their commercial objectives. We don't exist simply to make a profit.
Membership of London Capital is open to anyone who lives, works or studies in North London.
I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
Okay.
There are many reasons why people apply for loans, from buying a new car to going on holiday.
That's what. It's a pity he cannot sign the form. We would have just had him for one of our members.
One member, Miriam, would like to take an educational break.
Today I'm at the credit union because I've applied for a loan last week and I'm waiting to hear a decision. I'm applying for £1,000. I want to go to one German-speaking country for 2 weeks to improve my German.
Hello.
Members who build up a regular pattern of saving and spending through the credit union can stand a better chance of being accepted for a loan.
If I got the loan, I'll be very happy and motivated to learn even more German before I get to either Berlin or Vienna.
Good morning. Would you like to come over, please?
Yes, please.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I'm well, thank you. How can I help?
I've applied for loan last week and I wanted to hear your decision.
Right, okay. Would you mind giving me your membership number if you've got it handy?
Miriam has been a member for 6 years, and she's hoping that will help her application.
And what did you apply the loan for?
For holiday.
Holiday. Okay, I'm just looking for your loan application form. I've got your form here. Would you mind taking a seat just there? And what I'll do, I'll look at your loan and then I'll call you over again just to see if there's anything I need to do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Patricia gets to decide if Miriam will be jetting off to Germany or staying at home.
I've looked at her payment history with us, and I can see that the members had loan. The last loan the member had was last year, July, and she's kept up with her payments. She's cleared that loan off, and so now this will be a new loan. For me to make a decision, I'm looking at her bank statement to see if there's any return direct debits, to see if there's any debts on here which she hasn't declared on the loan application I've got here. I'm also looking at her history that she has with us, whether she's had any missed payments and whether we had to send any letters out to her, like default letters.
If I didn't get the loan, I would believe then that's how I need to improve even more. I will be a bit disappointed, but I will just believe that's how it is.
Miriam will have to wait to see if Patricia is able to give us some good news. Credit unions and community banks don't just offer personal loans. Some also give a helping hand to people who want to work for themselves but find it difficult to get credit elsewhere.
Morning, Jack. How do?
Right, Mark, right, pal.
Like Mark from Manchester, who turned his passion for food into a money-making opportunity.
Beautiful, then. Oh, I can eat them. I can eat them like chicken thighs.
3 years ago, with the help of a business finance loan, Mark set up a unique mobile catering business, selling slow-cooked barbecue street food.
I put this on dry. I don't put any oils on it because I want to get a bark. Some people have different methods, but this is how I've done it all the time, and it works. Cooking has always been a passion of mine since I was a kid. Coming home from school and seeing my dad cook, and when he were working shifts, I could always take over and make some food for myself or for my mum or for my brother. And from there, I've always cooked. I've always done barbecue food. And one of my main dishes as a kid, what my dad's shown, was soy sauce chicken. And I still make that now because I absolutely love it. Get that marinade all around the chicken then. Yeah, it's always been part of me, but I never ventured through that through school.
After leaving education, Mark went into manufacturing. But after 15 years feeling he was in the wrong job, this food fanatic decided to jack it all in to set up a mobile catering business.
You finished for the day now?
I had enough working for somebody else. I needed to do my own thing, and everybody knew how much I love food.
Mark's first task was to find the perfect vehicle. And while searching online, he came across a 1980s American school bus and thought, what could be better?
I love everything American. And when I saw this was it. I fell in love, and it was perfect. I wanted to do barbecue for food. I knew that. So why not have an American bus? And when you get excited, you know we want it. Then that was it. And that's what the type of person I've always been. If I want something, I'll get it.
To bring his American dream to Manchester, Mark needed cash.
To initially start this business off, I needed a cash investment of £24,000 just to get the vehicle bought, the kitchen fitted, to get me on the road and to start cooking for customers. So I went to a lot of the high street banks to find out what I could get for my business loan, and I found them too hard to work with.
Mark then approached a lender who specialises in offering business startup loans to people who've struggled to get finance elsewhere.
I said, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. And they just said, oh, we'll take you through it step by step. And that's what they did. Every time I had a question, I phone them up or I send them a quick email, they didn't answer me back, and made the process so much simple than I would have previously thought from a big high street bank.
Alex Smith was the advisor assigned to help Mark through his loan application.
I think he was torn at the time between obviously staying in employment, he had a young family if I remember rightly, or starting a business, and it's a very brave decision I suppose that he took. But on the back of our meeting I was pretty much 90% of the way there to think, yeah, he could make a real go of this. It was niche, it was different, it was something that I'd not seen before. You know, the big American school bus, numerous income streams that he could go down really, hiring it out at weddings, at private functions. So it was an application that we're quite keen to back.
Convinced that Mark was onto a great idea, Alex helped him create a business plan.
For all our loan applications, whether it's for £500 right the way up to £25,000, the procedure is fairly similar. We drill down on the business model, the business plan, the cash flow, the creditworthiness of the applicant. It's whether they would have recourse to repay the loan should the business fail.
And we do flat side up.
Once Alex understood Mark's vision and was confident he would make money, they offered the £24,000 loan he needed to get up and running.
So the money we got went towards all the fabrication in the bus. A new fryer, our griddle, our pride and joy. This is where we do all our burgers from and all our barbecue chicken. Coming along down to the bottom, this is the pit we use, which I got over and imported from Chicago, Illinois. It's a brilliant pellet smoker, really is. I can fit around 6 pulled porks in there, 4 or 5 briskets. You can get about 15, 20 kilos of chicken in there.
The main thing for me, the main driver was how passionate he was about this business, how much he actually wanted to make this a success. And you could see it written on his face. He was desperate to do this. And, you know, and he got our full backing, and we do wish him every success.
So going from a regular wage to not knowing if I'm going to make £10 or £400, it's all new and it's all a massive risk. I could have been in a job for life, and just because I didn't want to do that anymore, I've had to up the game for myself. And yes, it's been a massive step. It's not been the easiest thing in the world, but I'm glad I've done it. And now I can actually say I've followed my heart now.
What can I get for you, pal?
Mark has now been trading for just over a year and has built up a loyal band of regular customers.
2 nachos, please.
Nachos!
We like it just because it's different. It's not your average fast food. It's more like proper food. There you go.
Thank you very much. Oh, awesome change. Hey!
Came here first time yesterday. Everything was fresh, really tasty burger, so I'm back again.
Austin, 2 Shermans, 1 with no cheese.
Well, I think it's really iconic. People drive past and just see it immediately, and I think it's really good, bringing in good business, home-cooked food, so yeah, I love it.
I can look after all this, all right.
From when he first came to us, when he first walked into the office, there was somebody there who had an idea, was very passionate about it, quite nervous about actually launching this business and leaving full-time employment. And it's great to see that journey, and at the end of it, he's got this great little business. It's successful, and it's getting all the plaudits that it deserves. The decision, it reaffirms that it was the right thing to do. You know, it makes me happy. It's great that somebody has actually realised their dreams on the back of a startup loan, and that's what we're all about. That's what we're there to do. It's those stories that make it all worthwhile.
For Mark, the school bus is only the beginning.
My next venture is going to hopefully be bigger, better, where I can actually have my own seating area, my own bar. I'm hoping to get a 40-foot container, put into the ground and convert it into a smoker. And to have a smoker at that capacity, it's going to be endless smoking and endless meat. But it's going to be absolutely great.
This is one man with a taste for success. At the credit union in London, Miriam is anxiously waiting to see if her loan for a language learning holiday will be approved.
So many times I've applied here, I've always been accepted, so I kind of have got hope.
The member said she's got no debts, and I can't see any credit cards on her bank statements. The member is asking for £1,000 for a holiday, and the amount she's asking for is affordable. She manages her account very well. There's no overdraft on her account. She seems to be meeting, you know, standing orders and direct debits that come through every month. She's got a small amount of savings in her account, so I would make a decision on the loan. Miriam, would you mind taking a seat? You've submitted your loan application. I've looked at all the criteria that's needed for a loan to be approved, and I can gladly say that I will approve the loan for £1,000 for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because of the amount that you said you're going to pay each month, which is £50 to the loan and £30 savings.
Yeah.
We would need you to just check you've got all your correct bank details, because once we send the money, it cannot be returned again to us. Yeah. So
how long will it take?
You're in before 3 o'clock today. You could check at the end of the working day today and the money should be there.
Yes, last time I was straight there, Thank you.
Which part of the world are you going to?
I want to go to one of the German-speaking countries, either Vienna or Berlin.
Okay.
Because I'm learning German now, and I want to improve that in the environment.
I've been to Vienna. Vienna is lovely.
Yes.
Normally every year I go to Antigua. My friend is out there. But this year my daughter is taking me to Mexico.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
No.
You know, that holiday would be much better if you spoke the language.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I want to do, speak the language and go today.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy your holiday.
I will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I got approved. I got my loan, and I'm so very happy.
The reason why I like to say yes is to know that I can help somebody. And Miriam, she's not missed a payment, and, you know, she deserves a holiday.
I'm booking myself for 2 weeks into German-speaking country and come back after 2 weeks, I'll be speaking German. I believe in life, 2 things. When you wake up in the morning, 2 things can happen to you. One, if it's bad, that's a lesson. If it's good, that's a blessing. So today was my blessing.
Still to come. A mum seeks a loan to make her daughter smile.
It's just for decorating my home, my daughter's room especially, making it really princessy looking.
A bus driver whose love of credit left her out of control.
The council started threatening me to evict me from my property. I couldn't sleep at night. I was crying. I said, how am I going to do it?
And a cancer survivor who took a loan to fulfill his dream of becoming a therapist.
It was sort of like, OK, I've got a vision, I've got a thing that I could be doing, and here's somebody saying yes. And that's a very good feeling.
In a time when people are saving less and spending more, credit unions play an important role in encouraging good financial practice.
If you find yourself in difficulty, please talk to us. No problem. We're human beings, we're here to help you.
The credit union in Lewisham has been serving the local community for 25 years and currently has over 10,000 borrowers and savers.
And you, all right, take it, bye.
78-year-old Mary was one of the credit union's founding members. For her, coming here is a family affair.
One of my daughters works. She works here in this credit union. Her name is Adele. I'm Mary Picorni. I'm her mum. And I was one of the first members. And we hadn't got this building here. We used to go on Thursday night down to the Catholic Club and put your money in there if you wanted, you know. So we had, and then we got very big and we came here.
Mary has always encouraged her family to use the credit union.
I just want to put a little in. I have 7 children. The elder ones, I put them all in. And even my grandchildren are in the credit union here. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.
It looks like this branch will be serving Mary's family for generations to come.
Bye.
Using a credit union to put money away for a rainy day like Mary can help you avoid ending up in financial trouble. If it does go wrong, there is a last resort option: bankruptcy. However, there is a lot of confusion about what it actually involves.
Well, basically, it's a last resort.
It's when, I guess, everything is gone and you have no money and you're outstanding loads of debt.
It's expensive. Yeah, it's an expensive process.
Well, I imagine it's pretty unpleasant, but I don't really know if you have declared yourself bankrupt. I think after 10 years or something like that, you could sort of start again. I might be wrong on that.
They can no longer pay their debts given the income that they've got, so they have to declare themselves bankrupt. It's a very sad situation.
Luckily, there is free impartial advice available for anyone who needs it. Caroline Hamilton deals with people making the difficult choice of whether bankruptcy is right for them.
Bankruptcy is a formal debt solution that involves a legal procedure. A client can wipe the slate clean, but at the same time, they can expect to relinquish any assets or anything of value that they own. The bankruptcy will go on their credit file and show on there for 6 years, and it will also go on another public record called the Insolvency Register. The process for applying for bankruptcy has actually gotten easier over the last couple of years, and it can actually all be done online from the comfort of their own home. But that doesn't mean to say that it has become any less expensive. The cost of bankruptcy is over £600. There are some debts that can't be included in your bankruptcy. These are things like student loans and child maintenance arrears. They will always be payable.
But bankruptcy is not always the right answer.
I would say for anybody considering bankruptcy, you do have to have sought debt advice before you can actually go bankrupt. So you must speak to a debt advisor to make sure this is the best solution for you.
Somebody who knows all too well about the pitfalls of borrowing is Monica, a single mum of 3 from London. She's worked all her life, but it wasn't until she was 55 that she landed her dream job as a bus driver.
There was something in me that wanted to do it because I really, really admire them being able to drive a bus, especially the double-decker. So I said to myself, I want to do this, so I'll go for it. We've got 8 weeks training, enable you to drive the bus. And by the time we finished, it was myself and 2 other men out of the 200 people. So that made me very proud.
And Monica's dream job paid well too.
Working on the buses, I really enjoyed it because the money was good. The money was very, very good because I was taking home about £500 a week. And when I do overtime, I take about £700.
Although Monica was earning well, with 3 kids to look after, she was also spending too. Very quickly, Monica started to lose control of her finances.
I was spending the money on food, clothes for the kids, their uniforms, and because the bankers knew that money was coming in and it was good, they kept on asking me to come for loan. So that attracted me, so I started taking up loan for car, for dresses, shoes, everything. I kept on buying stuff and I was addicted. Buying. Stuff even that I didn't need. I had all the credit cards you can think of, and I kept on spending, especially when it's sales time. I'll just go out there and spend money. I wasn't even checking because I knew Friday my money is gonna go in.
Monica convinced herself her spending was under control by paying the bare minimum each month to keep the creditors at bay.
When they send me the bill, I make sure I pay. Later, I realized that the money wasn't going down, even though I was paying what they asked me to pay.
Although her debts had reached £50,000, Monica was earning money and thought she could cope. But in 2011, her life was turned upside down when she suffered a massive stroke.
I lost my speech. I was unable to walk. I ended up in a wheelchair. I wasn't able to do anything for myself. So it was very, very disturbing and challenging situation.
To make matters worse, Monica lost her driving licence, which meant she lost her job and her income.
When I lost my job as a bus driver, the money stopped. So then my creditors started chasing me for their money, which I haven't got. Letter was coming through my door, phone calls, but the worst of all was my rent, because the council started threatening me to evict me from my property. I couldn't sleep at night. I was crying. I said, how am I going to do it?
Sue Ferret works for Christians Against Poverty, or CAP as they're known, a charity that helps vulnerable individuals who are struggling financially. And they are who Monica turned to for help.
Hello, Monica. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Sue. Thank you.
It's good to see you.
And you.
I can remember when I first saw Monica, she was quite depressed, really stressed by all the letters and phone calls. She was quite tearful on that first visit. And it was just really giving her reassurance that actually she'd come to the right place. We were there to help her. We weren't there to judge her. And just to reassure her there was a way, there was always a way to get out of debt, there's always a solution. It's really good to see you. You're looking well.
Thank you.
How have you been getting on?
I'm spending less,
Yeah.
which is very good. Yeah.
Yes.
With Sue's help, Monica started to tackle her debt problem head on.
We contact the rent and the council tax people first as a priority to make sure she kept her home. We weren't going to pay the debts off for her, but we were going to take as much of that burden off her as we possibly could. So it was just being there for her and making her feel like she wasn't alone in the situation.
When CAP came along, the phone calls stopped, the letters stopped. I was able to sleep.
With no way of ever paying back her debts, Monica was advised to declare herself bankrupt.
I'm not that person who wants to owe somebody and not pay. So therefore, it was very, very challenging for me to make that decision, to sign that paper, to go bankrupt. But then, I didn't have a choice.
Bankruptcy is not an easy option for people to accept because there is a certain stigma attached to it for some people.
And then,
for people like Monica, who was through ill health, would be very unlikely to be able to go back to work again. It really was the only way forward.
Don't use credit cards. I've cut them and put them in the bin. It's not worth it. Yeah.
It was a great relief of stress for her. She knew that now she was completely clear out of the debt, and she was going to learn from that and not get into debt again.
So much money.
Monica's now committed to making sure she lives within her means.
Yeah.
So how's things been going with managing your budget?
It's been brilliant because I don't spend what I haven't got. So I just listed what I needed for the week, and then I will withdraw the cash before I go shopping.
Mm-hmm. It's really good to see. I'm really impressed with how you're doing. So
thank you.
We're wanting to make sure that those people who've got out of debt, that they stay out of debt and they really learn to manage their money better, because for many people their income is not going to increase. They've got to learn to live on a low income.
It's simple. Use the money that you earn and budget it, because if you go and get credit cards and loan, you end up paying a lot of money on top of it as interest, and that's what happened to me. I've learned from it that I'm not going to do it again. Up to today, I'm free of debt, and I'm happy, very, very happy.
Monica is just one of around 100,000 people in the UK who go bankrupt every year. However, there may be other options, so it's essential to seek good advice.
The biggest pro of going bankrupt is that it can be a way to wipe the slate clean and write off the money that you owe so you don't have to stress about it anymore or find the money to repay it. The biggest con of going bankrupt is that you could lose your home, some of your possessions, your savings, even your job in some industries, and that is a really serious consequence. It is definitely an option worth considering, but there are lots of other options that could be better for you. If, say, you owe less than £20,000, a debt relief order might be more suitable, especially if you don't own your own home. So my top tip for anyone considering bankruptcy is speak to a free debt charity, because they'll be able to help you look at all your options and find the one that's right for you.
When you apply for a loan from a responsible finance provider, they will make sure you can afford the repayments so you don't overstretch yourself. Once you've got the money, their role doesn't end there. Many lenders go a step further, giving mentoring and support. This is exactly what happened to Fergus, a care professional and arts practitioner from Stroud, when in June 2016, he borrowed £500 to start a complementary therapy business.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be too high, because that creates tension in the shoulders. Very, very useful for falls prevention in the elderly. What we've got is a set of adapted exercises from Tai Chi. Tai Chi being the slow exercise system that benefits mind and body. The rest there if you can. However, these clients are all either seated or using wheelchairs, so we adapt the exercises so that they can be done seated.
Fergus's desire to help others has been shaped by his own traumatic experience. At the age of 23, Fergus, a talented young musician, suddenly collapsed in a restaurant.
So my GP insisted that I have an MRI scan, and they found a benign tumour, and this one was satsuma-sized, with a root. It was sitting about here, inside the skull, right hemisphere. The doctors at that stage basically said, well, you've only got 3 months to live. We're going to have to operate soon. After the first couple of weeks in hospital, I was really lost. And I'm talking really lost, in some very dark places. But I thought, you know, you're not alone. It's not just you. There are other people who are having horrible journeys like this, you know. But it's all for a good reason. Don't forget. You'll get through it, type of thing.
After 2 brain operations and intensive radiotherapy, Fergus turned to complementary therapies to help his recovery.
From a background in the arts and as a performer and, musician, writing songs and all this kind of thing, I became very interested in the application of, creative arts. The therapeutic use of meditation, things like Tai Chi, yoga and all the other movement arts, and it did me a lot of good. So when you've had a brain injury, what you're probably going to find is that one side of the body is going to behave very differently from the other side, and Tai Chi can really help with that.
Fergus was determined to turn his traumatic experience into something positive. He decided to set up an art therapy business to help others in the Gloucestershire area and needed a loan to get started.
When you feel a bit of tension in there, just encourage it to go soft. In total, I needed £500, and what I had to cost out was very, very simple. Promotion, business cards, insurance, stationery, stuff like that, just to get things happening. I looked at the rate that the banks were offering, and then when I looked at the rate that was being offered by the community finance institution, it was actually a slightly higher rate, but I had more control over the money. Yes, if it's comfortable.
Grant Cousins from Gloucester Enterprise helped Fergus with his business plan and loan application.
When I first met Fergus, he came across as absolutely passionate about what he wanted to do. life seemed to have treated him a few sort of rough blows, etc. And I like to think he left the meeting thinking, yep, I can do this.
And relax. Good.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He's got a degree in performing arts. He's been a musician. He's a care coordinator for years, working within the care industry. And what he wanted to do was to provide sound and movement therapy, mainly to older people. A marketplace he knew, lots of contacts, and it was great.
Despite Grant's confidence, Fergus wanted to make sure he wasn't taking on too much.
I wanted to gear it so that that would be repaid at around about £10 a month, just in case things went completely bonkers and the thing flopped. Because then at least I could keep a part-time job or go and get a full-time job and still pay off a £10 a month loan. That's it. That's it. The hands are slightly apart.
We knew his plan was okay. We knew he wasn't asking for very much. We knew his credit record was okay. But he was stunned, I think, is probably the word when he got it. He was so chuffed. I think he even came in here to say, so pleased I've got the loan.
When they actually approved the loan, it was very affirming. It was sort of like, OK, I've got a vision, I've got a thing that I could be doing, and here's somebody saying yes. And that's a very good feeling.
Fergus has now been in business a year and has successfully built up a regular network of happy clients.
I love it. I love Fergus. I think he's wonderful. He's got a way of explaining everything and giving you patience, you know. And it really has helped me. Yeah, I get going more. Just keeps you young.
I think the really freeing thing that I'm experiencing now is doing the work I like to do that helps people, that connects with people, see them get empowered by it, they come alive, and for £500, which is a small amount of money as a business loan, that's a great gift.
Credit unions serve their local communities, and anyone from the area is welcome to join.
Good morning, how can I help you?
Do you have a more recent proof of address than this?
There are a wide range of reasons why people turn to them.
And what's the purpose of the loan?
I'm redoing my garden at home.
All right, sort garden sort out.
Yeah, it's for the children mainly.
Yeah.
We've got a shed in there at the moment and it needs to all come down and wooden flooring.
Before it falls down.
Yes.
You doing anything nice?
It's actually for a loan for home improvement.
What is the loan for? I did promise my daughter, and passing her test is her 25th birthday. I'm going to help her towards a car.
All right.
Hopefully they appreciate it. She does, you know, she's older. an angel, I'm telling you.
Today, Mum Jade is turning to her local credit union in London, hoping for a small loan.
It's just for decorating my home, my daughter's room especially, making it really princessy looking.
Hello, good morning. Thank you. You're applying for a loan?
Yeah. You can't understand my writing, can't you? It's a bit scribbly.
It's fine, it's fine. Are you in good health and fit to carry on?
Yeah, I should hope so. If I didn't get it, I would be upset, to be honest, like a bit, because it would take longer for me to decorate, and it'd probably take me until like next year to get it all sorted. Because I only work part-time, so the amount I get is not enough, especially with bills and stuff like that. So to have the loan, it would speed the process, basically.
Right, I'm just going into the payment calculator, and right, because you just want to pay £85 a month, it's 20 months it will take to repay the whole loan.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? We also ask you, because you're working, we ask you to save £20 each month. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I did go for 1,000, but I upped it to a little bit more, so 1,500 is what I've asked for.
It's the job of loan manager Jay to decide if Jade will get the money.
So I'm actually just taking a look on the system to see if we can actually offer this loan. Okay, so I can see she's been a member with us for like 3 years. Repayment history has not been bad as well. She receives her wages into our current account. We also look at maybe her credit score as well, like her credit file, and to see how she's borrowing it elsewhere as well. And I mean, that's a good thing as well. It shows she's a responsible borrower. The only problem I would say that I have is her wages. Her wages is, she's working part-time basically. And for the amount that she's asking for, we feel that repayments could be a bit of a struggle for her. If she is working part-time, the repayments on a £1,500 loan could be a bit difficult for her. At the credit union, we would love to offer everyone that applies for a loan the full amount, but we have to look at a point of view where we're trying to get them out of problems. So we're trying to give them a loan, yes, but also give them an affordable loan which they can repay comfortably. Because obviously if they do take out loans from here that they can't afford, that would be the worst thing that can happen. They might go to a loan shark to repay the loan that they have here, and it's just an ongoing cycle.
This might not be the outcome that Jade was hoping for.
If I didn't get the loan, then I would be upset. Just because I have plans in my head and I kind of want to get the ball rolling for the plans, really. So I'm hoping that I do get the full amount.
Please go to counter 2.
Hello, you're right, is that Jade? Hi, then. My name's Jay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Come take a seat. So you've applied for a loan of £1,500 with us. Unfortunately, we can't approve the full amount.
Okay.
However, we can approve an amount of £800.
Okay.
We feel £800 is it wouldn't cause financial strain on yourself.
Yeah.
Also, this will allow you to pay off 1/3 for Christmas, so you can actually apply for a Christmas loan if need be. How does that sound to you?
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Not too bad, yeah. So if you're okay with this, we can go ahead with signing documents.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I understand you wanted it as a cheque. Is that correct?
Please.
No problem. What's your plans for the loan?
To decorate my home.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything good to go? Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. See ya. Most of the time, people apply for more than what they need. I think some of them expect they'll get less, so they try their chance of getting more. So if they are knocked down, they could actually get a decent amount.
Yeah, it went well. I didn't get the amount I asked for, but £800 is enough if you budget. I feel happy because it can still help me out with what I needed to do.
Since our filming, Fergus's Tai Chi business has continued to grow in popularity.
When you feel a bit of tension in there, just encourage it to go soft.
And he's hoping to start offering new techniques.
The elbows.
Mark's got himself a new business partner and found a new location for the barbecue bus, where he plans to set up a sheltered outdoor area nearby with seating for his customers.
If you need help and support with managing debt, there are organisations that can help. Go online to our website for details, or you can call the BBC Action line free at any time to hear recorded information on 08000 564 756.